Derek Leonard has worked as a driving instructor at the BMW Performance Center for 7 years, so he's pretty well acquainted with the test track. But he hasn't had much time behind the wheel of the all-new 2018 BMW X3. In fact, he and his fellow instructors only got in the new M40i variant half an hour or so before I showed up after seeing the X3 introduced across the street at the Plant Spartanburg factory. Nonetheless, Leonard cracks big smiles as he takes me and other journalists out for thrill rides around the track at a spirited pace. He revs the engine to make the exhaust crackle, hammers the throttle from a stop, and overall puts the SUV through its paces on the short, winding circuit. I wish I could get behind the wheel, but it's still a good introduction to the dynamism that will be offered from the newest BMW crossover when the X3 M40i goes on sale this fall. Riding on the Car modular platform shared with the 5 Series, the 2018 BMW X3 is larger and more spacious than its predecessor, but lighter and more aerodynamic. With the wheelbase increased by 2.2 inches, legroom increases in both rows of seats. BMW X3 project manager Arno Keller says there's now more interior room than the first-generation BMW X5. Using aluminum for the front doors, hood, engine, and suspension helps make the new X3 around 121 pounds lighter than before. The base X-Drive 30i scales at 4,156 pounds. It cuts through the wind more cleanly, too, thanks in part to the addition of active grille shutters and BMW's air curtain fender cutouts for the first time. The standard X3 has a 0.29 drag coefficient, with the M40i's more aggressive bodywork dialing that up to 0.33. But both are lower than the outgoing X3's 0.36 CD, and Keller says, "We don't have any competitors with a value like that. That should help the all-important fuel economy figures, for which estimates are not yet available." The 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 Indy M40i produces a healthy 355 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That's the same amount of power but an extra 23 pound-feet versus the X4 M40i. The two sporty crossovers may have the same suffix, but the X4 uses the older N Series 3.0-liter engine instead of the X3's new B Series mill, and is not on the new Car platform.